Welcome to Monkey and Frank. My name is Do and my body is Dom. And this week was supposed to be the week where I would be in Peru, but because of COVID, everything got delayed to whenever the Canadian borders are going to open and whenever the Canadian government are going to stop being so afraid. But I do understand that it is a killer for old people and sometimes young people with health problems. And I also understand that a lot of people, including me, really love their parents and their grandparents. But at the same time, I do feel like restricting the freedom of, a lot of the young population is absolutely crazy. I understand that, if the old people are afraid, that they should stay home and they should take proper precaution. And that's my opinion, and that's what I'm going through right now. But I wanted to talk more about what I'm going through spiritually, physically, and mentally. I've been recording a podcast with my friends talking about their spirituality and their journey. And today, when talking to Matt, I tell you, I got so freaking attached to his story because of how beautiful it was. It is. Yeah, was or is, doesn't matter. And what he must have felt when going through that experience. And because of that, my silent mind, my mind came up with a lot of questions because I wanted to know more instead of giving the proper space that a person deserves when they come on to the Monkey and Frank podcast. I don't even want to call it my podcast, to tell you the truth. I want it to be greater than me. I want it to be for people to come and really share their experience about their psychedelic stories and mental health or anything that's involving spirituality and growth in any way possible, really, through meditation, breath work, plant medicines, to even cannabis, you name it, right? MDMA, therapy. Just the knowing that this podcast could help other people in their growth is all I really, really want. And also the idea that I love people. Like today, I didn't realize how much I love people. And it's crazy because for the longest time, when I'm depressed, straight up, when I'm depressed, I feel like I've got such a hatred of society because of the lens that I'm seeing through. But really, when I really think back, as Matt was talking, I was telling him about my flight attendant experience back in the day, and it reminded me that no matter how depressed I am, if I'm surrounded by anybody, and of course I'm not high. If I'm high, I tend to just want to isolate and meditate or be one with the plant medicine, kind of going inward, or even observing the outside world, but by myself, or being with friends that are also high. If I'm not high and I am around people, I can't help but to be happy and to smile and to interact with them and just, I don't know. But even saying that out loud is weird. It's absolutely weird how I've always been a people person and yet I've always been so isolated. And felt so alone growing up, even though I've got a tremendous amount of connections and friends, whatever that meaning is. But let's go back to like how I got attached to Matt's podcast, Matt's story. And when he was talking, because I could get a glimpse, it's weird. As he was talking, as he was bringing his journey into words, it's almost like I was there, like I could totally experience what he was going through, and I couldn't stop asking questions. And I felt so much shame at the end of the podcast, because recording the podcast felt amazing. It felt like a kid that was going through his own journey of ayahuasca through the storytelling of this man. And I was getting, and I'm still like, I felt the energy of his soul going inside of me, and it was such a bliss, or such a great moment. But then when I started listening to the podcast right away after, because I just wanted to hear it again. I wanted to hear his story. And as I was listening to myself, I could hear, like, I wanted to know more about him. And it was almost like I was pissed off at myself, like, God, shut up. I want to hear him. Why are you even talking? I don't like your voice. I don't like your face. I want to hear his journey. And it's almost like I was in the way, as if there was a kid saying, Daddy, Daddy, what about this? What about this? And like, shut up. I'm trying to tell the story, shut up. It's all good. I love you with all my heart, but let me tell the story kind of feeling. And I felt so much shame. So it was weird to see both sides, like the side where, when I did the recording, how much I felt like I wanted to know more, and as if he wasn't going fast enough. And he even said so in his podcast, that when you're on ayahuasca, especially, like, I've only experienced this once, the state of like really going in, not even inward. I never went inward the way he did, and but I remember how fast it is, how fast-paced it is compared to reality and words and interaction with other people. That's so slow, and it's so hard to do, because you can't put words often to the feelings and what you're going through when it comes to ayahuasca, DMT, mother. It's so fast-paced. But anyways, when he was telling his journey, as I was recording it, I felt so much healing coming inside of me. But then when I was listening to it, I felt shame at the idea that I had lost the ability to really give space the way I prided myself in doing, like how I'm able to just be silent mind and listen, and really to give space and to really wait for the proper time to speak. I couldn't hold myself. I was like a kid. And how much it felt appropriate that I behaved that way, as if I needed to go through that with somebody that is so open and so loving, like Matt. Matt is such a great person, that it allowed me to kind of grow in a way that was really difficult, as if I'm going through it, as if I'm in Peru right now, as if this week means a lot to me. And I've seen it this week as well, and I had other experiences of as if Mother is doing some work inside of me. And also I felt shame. I felt so much shame that I'm not there yet. And even him telling us his story through the podcast, he's going through healing of his own right now, even though he had this crazy experience and this amazing downloads, and almost like amazing life because of his discipline. He's still going through stuff. And we talk about this a lot, is often when you're depressed or when you're going through something, you want it to be now. You don't want to go through the suffering to get the knowledge. Can you just give me the download, as if you were in the Matrix, plug something behind my brain and just download the knowledge that I can have it now and really be at peace with who I am. And but it doesn't work like that. It really takes time. And I was happy. Not happy. I was full of shame, and I was going through it, and I felt like running away inside. Like I'm like, oh my God, I am such a fool. And I didn't hear that, but the feeling, like I felt hot in the brain. I felt hot in the body. And the anxiety was not there, but just, and it reminded me of my second ceremony in Peru, on when I get in this state of depression, I guess, or in this state of, I lose connection to source. I think that's what it is. It's like when you lose the connection to source, when you have doubts and you lose your faith in yourself. Not, I didn't lose my faith in God, I didn't lose my faith in Mother, but losing my faith for myself, it leaves me with such a feeling of, one, heat, like as if I'm burning up. Two, as if I can't be happy. My children were here, they were smiling, they were laughing, and I could see that I should have been laughing at this time, and I was not. I was like stuck inside my own self. And I would close my eyes and go into presence and be with the Tao, and that's the only thing that would take it away. But I felt like I should do more of an effort to participate in the joy and love that my family was providing around me. And I just couldn't do it. And that kind of perpetuated the shame. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that experience that I went through tonight. And it's actually really beautiful after you get past it. But I felt like an annoyance. Even the apologies that I was sending to Matt felt extreme, felt a lot like, dude, enough. You are perfect. You are okay. Everything's good. You're learning. We're learning. You know, there's also improvements in your podcast. Like the voice recording thing sounded better, and you know, everything now is a trauma that I'm going through. Growing up with my mom specifically is, I never learned delayed gratification. If I wanted anything, I would get it. If I wanted to, and I always waited till the last minute to do my work. Delayed gratification also applies in a way that if you're disciplined, even though your work is due in 2 weeks, but you do it now, that's almost like a delayed gratification. It's like, I'm not going to wait until the last minute. And I've never done that in my life, unfortunately. And I mean, I say unfortunately, but this is the path that I needed to walk to be able to get to where I am, to be able to learn these lessons. And I have to admit as well, like as much as the suffering of my shame was present tonight, I still did better than before. And there's a part of me that wishes that I could have done better, but I did do better than yesterday or the day before, and that's all we can really ask for. How can I make today just a little bit better than yesterday, and tomorrow a little bit better than today? And if you continue on that path, the growth will happen, and you will get things done in your life, in your surrounding, in your inner self. And the contrast is often hard to see when you're dealing with depression or mental health issues. It's as if today is the only thing that matters, and when you fuck up, it's like the end of the world. Well, listen, man, like that's one thing. Matt was talking about his journey on how he could see a previous lives, previous incarnation of when he was in the desert or in a cave, and I've never experienced that yet, and it really was showing me on how I'm still afraid that I still have doubts that God doesn't exist or that my awareness will not continue. And yet, the mushroom came the closest to show me with the experience of when I was, and even then, like it was really inside my body. I could tell that I was not like gone. I didn't have like an ego death the way he had, where when mother took him to that other space, like having his eyes open and seeing the Maloka beam the entire, community of his ayahuasca family to a spaceship is something else. It blew my mind, one, and two, I did get jealous. I have to admit it. I can't lie. I did get jealous, and I know that I'm going to be going back to Peru and experiencing ayahuasca, but I'm afraid that I'm not worthy of that type of healing, or that I am broken inside and that there's nothing that Mother can do for me. The same as what Matt was going through. It's crazy how his journey, life, is so much a reflection of mine. And it's freaky. Not that it's freaky, but it's the coincidences of the people that I meet in my life that have such profound experiences that relate to my life, and yet both, he couldn't have, his life couldn't be so blah. I'm so emotional. Give me a moment. My life couldn't be is so different compared to his and to everybody else, and yet their stories are so similar to my stories, even though different parents, different siblings, different life, different opportunities, different type of money, discipline, you name it. That guy's so freaking disciplined and had businesses, and I've always, not been disciplined. I've always spent my money on drugs in order to escape my suffering, to kind of self-medicate. And even when I worked at Corral, and I must have spent over $15,000 in booze in just one summer, because it really made me never drink again. If I drink, it's so rare that I party, and even drinking a beer, it's not something I do. That summer, it's insane. I would drink Thursday, Friday, Saturday for an entire summer. It got me so sick of alcohol. I'm surprised I didn't get addicted. I guess alcohol and I are not, my body is not addicted to alcohol, but yet when it came to cannabis, it was always the master plant that helped me, but I didn't know it was a master plant, and now I do. And now that I'm sober, I miss it a lot, and I'm excited to do it again one day. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to be very careful to ensure that I use it in the proper way, that I use it in a very spiritual master plant kind of way. Because its teaching has been and will be probably invaluable, so powerful. The teaching of cannabis is so freaking powerful when you talk to it inside your own mind. Since I've been quiet mind, that's one of the reasons why I decided to take a break, is when I smoke cannabis, it's so quiet in there that I feel like if I don't make the effort to create a conversation with Mother, because for me, cannabis brings Mother inside my awareness. It's just a channel to, for Mother, for the spirits in the other world. And I miss you so much. But anyways, to say that, don't abuse cannabis. Use it in spiritual way, blah blah blah, I feel important. But of course everybody's unique and different, so you do you, my friend. You do you. Your journey is beautiful. And even like I wanted to say, you are perfect. It's like, I don't even feel like I'm perfect. How can I say it to another? But I have to do the practice of I am love, that I am perfect, and that source and spirits are there creating space for me to grow, to learn, and to honor them, even though when I'm disconnected from source, I have trouble feeling them, seeing them. I've never had the experience to see spirit yet in the form of what Matt went through in his journey when he saw those entities. But one day, I mean, all of this is in due time. In due time. All of my experience when it came to spirit were in this fourth dimension world without the help of any medicine, plant medicine. And even then, it's like, it gives me a doubt, like, oh, was it my own imagination? You know, did I really experience what I've experienced? You know, especially what reminds me is that story with my uncle. When my uncle passed away and I spent the time with the children, and then when the entire family was around the coffin, he came and kind of not took over, but I gave him permission to look through my eyes, and I could feel him inside of me looking through my eyes, and I could hear him say, look at that family, that's my family. And he was so proud, like that was a knowing, like so in love and so proud of his family. And I allowed him, I don't know, for the last time, I guess, to use human eyes, even though he had just passed away. And again, I could just be insane, it could just be my imagination, and I feel like Judas or Judah, whatever, Judah in French, Judas in English, as if I need like real proof, and that's bullshit. You know, having faith comes with effort, it does come with effort, and I want to put in the effort for God, for Mother. I love you guys with all my heart. Also this week I've been farting like a madman, as if I'm, and not as if, like farting and peeing and yawning, those are all a type of purging. So I've been purging stuff, traumas. I'm not too sure what, but I'm looking at them, and a lot of it is the trauma of, like, even yawning, like I'm talking right now and I don't yawn. Why am I yawning? Because I'm going through something. I'm telling you, man, like having people on Monkey and Frank telling their stories, just like on Joe Rogan today, you connect with the other's energy. No matter how far they are, you connect with that energy, and it transmutes you. It transmutes your own energy, and I'm probably transmutes his energy as well into healing, into real healing. It's undeniable to talk about Mother, Ayahuasca, to talk about any type of your psychedelic experience through the honor of what you've experienced, and the knowing that spirit was there to teach you things X, Y, and Z. It's so healing in so many ways. So I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling at this moment, I don't feel shame, but I'm feeling very neutral. I'm feeling very tired, very exhausted, as if I went through some healing today. And so yeah, talking spirituality is something we're going to continue to do. I had the story about Joe Rogan. He had this guy, Marcus, whatever, that anyways, and during his story, he mentioned a part like where he had like dry mud in his mouth, like, when he was he went through a very horrible time in Afghanistan as a SEAL. He lost all of his SEAL members during a mission, and he almost died so many times. And Joe Rogan had a dream about having mud in his mouth, and he couldn't wash it out, and he couldn't drink the water, and the guy went through that exact same experience. It's almost like they're two souls connected, and Joe just picked up what the guy was gonna say or what he went through during that time in Afghanistan, and he felt that pain of having such a dry mouth full of blood that you couldn't wash away. And it really leads me to believe that we can all do this if we really open up our hearts to who you're talking to, no matter who that person is. And it's important to say that the more you go towards spirituality, the more that your heart opens up and, really where you're fully vulnerable. I really now am thinking that it's easier for you to kind of absorb other people's energy, and not to be careful about that, but to know that it might happen. And it kind of creates a paradox of like, I thought I was no longer depressed. Why am I feeling this way? Well, it could be others. It might be that because you went through that depression yourself, and now your energy just is there to help in the background other people that are depressed, and maybe you're healing others, because you healed yourself. And that's something that to keep in mind, so that you don't feel like you're going backwards in your growth. To understand that, yeah, okay, I might, because I've beaten depression, I might continue to feel depression, but I'm feeling it for the purpose of healing myself, others, and whatever. And I'm gonna honor that feeling fully and just go forward, take another step. And if you can, and if you're really, really strong, to smile and to continue interacting with the people you love with a great joy, even though you might be feeling, like I say, anxiety, depression, whatever, a heaviness that you just can't explain. And I want to work towards that. Mother, if you're listening, I know you're listening, Mother, when I am feeling shame and my body is burning up, give me the strength and the honor and the courage to continue playing with my children, because they are the most important thing right now. I mean, I say that I am the most important thing, and then my children, but they matter a lot to me. And even that, I was going to say, like, I don't want to hurt them, but I know that there's no way around that. I will. In life, it's the traumas that you experience, the adversity that you experience, all of the angst and discomfort is for a reason. And it's actually beautiful, because once you surpass that and you not conquer it, but you go through it, the healing at the end and the knowledge and the wisdom that comes with it is so great that anybody that goes through a shitty experience and comes out at the end wouldn't wish any other way, right? So, yeah. I love you guys. Monkey and Frank, my friend. Monkey and Frank. Love you forever.